Apple Vision Pro just got released and kind of shocked the world, didn't it? We have had VR devices for a long time, but they haven't really been that great so far. We all know them to be a bit clunky. The Oculus devices came out in 2013, I think, and they weren't really that good. So far, the adoption has been quite slow. Like the Quest series has seen some adoption, but it hasn't really been that great because they weren't that good. But now with the Quest 3 that came out from Meta last year and the Vision Pro, it seems like they're actually about to start get really good. This is why your favorite influencers can't really stop talking about the Apple Vision Pro, that it is groundbreaking in so many ways. And there are some who aren't very impressed. You can't really please everybody. Remember when Facebook changed its name to Meta and the stock plummeted? I know they were approaching it in a different way with promising an amazing future inside the metaverse and we'll all hang out in a digital world. And last year we were kind of like, who really wants it? We rolled our eyes and it just felt like science fiction. And it wasn't really that good also. Like people were not happy with the final product that Meta had released. And then when Quest 3 came out, I think that's why it didn't really gain that much traction, even though it was mixed reality. I'll speak more on mixed reality eventually. But now with the Vision Pro released, the world has a lot more positive things to say. And I'm guessing that's for a good reason. Why don't we take a deeper look into it? If we compare the Vision Pro against MetaQuest 3, I don't think it's a fair comparison. One, because of the prices, like one is $3,500 and the other is $500. But I also think that they are marketing these products in a different way. Apple is marketing Vision Pro as like a productivity lifestyle device. You use it for your computing day-to-day work, you replace it with your computer. You can have multiple screens. You can have a digital overlay of the world just spread around you. And with the Quest series, they're going after the gaming market. So let's say we ignore the price and we ignore the marketing component alongside it. It's still the same product category. How do they stack up against one another? To make sure that we are able to make a comparison, we have to understand a few things. When you think of the metaverse, as Meta would like to call it, the image that jumps into our mind is probably of a virtual world. The thing is, the devices that we have in the market right now with Quest 3 and the Vision Pro, actually what we call mixed reality. It's a cool mix of virtual and augmented reality. And you can pick whichever mode suits you the best. What I like is that you can either choose to lose yourself in a virtual world or stick with the real world and just have digital stuff laid all over it. This special tech Apple is calling spatial computing. And I understand that Apple doesn't want to call it mixed reality, but in my mind, it's just easier. So I'm just gonna call it mixed reality when speaking about it more in the video. When we look into mixed reality, the first thing that we really want to look into is pass-through. What does that mean? Is when you put the devices on, how crisp and clear the digital objects look, how detailed is the view of the world around you. Both Vision Pro and Quest 3 seem pretty good at it, but Apple definitely has an edge here. When you look at the two videos side by side, Apple's pass-through is much better. Quest 3 is not far behind for a product that costs only $500, but when I put them on and I'm looking at the world, and if I want to judge it, the Vision Pro, in my opinion, does a much better job. I will say this though, that with the Vision Pro, the world, when you wear it, seems a bit duller, and in Meta, the biggest issue is even though it's brighter, the quality of the real world is not sharp enough. So when you compare the two of them for at least pass-through with foveated imaging, I will give the upper hand to Apple. It's just that Apple is doing a better job. Next, we will look into display quality, like when you're watching movies and that kind of stuff. In my mind, for this, Apple is a clear winner. It makes sense. It's an 8K with 4K on each eyes. It's just really good. And when you wear the Quest 3, it is good and you can watch an HD movie on it. Even the refresh rate seems better on Apple. And also, I think there's a lower latency when you're watching something on your laptop screen and you can watch it through the VR device. I think even in that, Apple has a bit of an edge over the Quest 3. So again, for even display quality, I think Vision Pro is doing a better job. However, Meta is not that far behind. Like it's really good, but it's just not as good as the Vision Pro. Next, I would probably compare the tracking capabilities. How do you interact with the elements in mixed reality? In my mind, Vision Pro completely nails this one. The hand and eye tracking is just one of the best features that it has to offer. You have to go through like a 2-minute process of setting everything up in the Vision Pro, but once you've done that, I can just look at something and pinch to interact. Just look and pinch. It's awesome. That's what makes me feel like I can wear this for multiple hours because of how seamless it feels when you're working on it. Meta Quest 3 also has hand tracking, but let's just say it's a bit of a hit or miss. It works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes. It's kind of frustrating. So I mostly just go for my controllers. And with the controllers, it's just really good. With controllers, I think it's hassle-free. I can interact with all the digital elements really well. Vision Pro doesn't come with any controllers, so you cannot really play many games on it. But then again, they're going for the productivity lifestyle market. You can connect your trackpad, but it has to be an Apple trackpad. And you can connect your wireless keyboard. I think it can be any wireless keyboard. So far, I will say that in all these three categories that I've compared, the Apple Vision Pro has an edge over the MetaQuest 3. But I don't think the gap is too big. Now, moving on to the next category. With Apple, everything in their ecosystem integrates really seamlessly with the Vision Pro. And for Apple power users like me, it's incredible. Like, it just feels so damn seamless. And all the Apple apps have been, for the most part, redone for how you would use them in this mixed reality world. We don't really have too many default apps yet in the market for the Vision Pro. However, you can use the 2 million app library which were made for the iPad directly on Vision Pro. And I think it works pretty well as well. Although they are only 2D right now, they're not using all the 3D elements and the 3D things that you can do now that you have spatial computing. They have tried to bridge the gap a bit of not having as many apps. However, Meta devices have been around for a long time. And because it is an open system, there are tons of developers who have built, primarily, I think it is mostly just gaming and fitness devices. I spend so much time playing virtual table tennis, and the physics of it is just so good that I've actually gotten better as a table tennis player by playing it on my Quest. And when I go on the Quest App Store, the library does seem to be a bit bigger than it is for the Vision Pro. But over time, I do see a lot of developers making apps for the Vision Pro. I will also mention that the Vision Pro also comes with FaceTime. You don't really look like yourself out of most people that I've seen with their digital avatars. Marquez's looks the closest to him. I don't know how they got him right, but that's also there. I don't think you can do FaceTime or video calls with your Quest devices. So this one is quite neck to neck. I love the Apple ecosystem, so I'm a bit biased. However, if you're a gamer and you want to use it for specifically gaming purposes, you might like the Quest one. When it comes to hardware design, you look at weight, comfort, adjustability, battery life. With the Vision Pro, you get this external battery that you have to carry around, which could be sort of inconvenient. The material that they have used, it is so premium, just feels so comfortable. And I feel like I can use it for a couple of hours and I think I will be fine without getting too fatigued. With the Quest, everything feels a bit plasticky, and that's a good thing depending upon whom you ask, because it is 100 to 140 grams lighter than the Vision Pro. However, I will say this though, I have used it for a few longer stretches of time. My eyes start to get a bit fatigued and I'm sweating profusely in the front part, and that did not happen when I was using the Vision Pro for more than an hour-long period. So if you're going to be watching a movie on it, I would probably go for the Vision Pro. If you are going to be working with multiple screens as a replacement for your desktop, I would again go for the Vision Pro. When it comes to the Quest 3, although they don't have an external battery, they've been able to fit everything in just one device. You still have controllers that you have to carry everywhere if you really want to use it. So who's to say which is more convenient? I think the puck is more convenient rather than carrying controllers. But if I was gaming, I would prefer the controllers. So it is a bit of a toss up there. And when it comes to battery life, the Vision Pro has done a better job because I can have my device worn, and then if my battery is dying, I can just connect this external battery and this can get charged. This will allow me to use my Vision Pro for much longer. However, if my Quest 3's battery is dying, I can't really do anything about it. I just have to charge it again. So in my mind, with the hardware and design, I am leaning towards the Vision Pro because I think it's a better long-term strategy as well. They're making us, the consumers, adapt to the fact that you have to carry an external wired battery alongside if you want to use this spatial computing device. So over time, they don't have to worry about trying to fit all of the things just in this headset, and they can use maybe the puck to also do the computing. Right now, they're doing all the computing in the headset itself, but over time, they can probably figure it out to do it much better and make this headset smaller. So it's a better long-term strategy. As a consumer, I feel the Vision Pro is better. Now, let's come to the user interface. And I think this is where there is the biggest gap between Quest and the Vision Pro devices. For me, the Vision Pro just seems much more polished as opposed to the Quest. Just based on my experience of using these two devices, the Quest 3 apps crash on me as opposed to Vision Pro, where I haven't faced that even once yet. And I don't think I will even in the future, just because how seamless Apple makes the user interface and user experience to be with the software and hardware. The MetaQuest app should allow me the capability to cast what somebody is seeing on their Quest devices directly on my phone, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And I genuinely feel if you give somebody who isn't tech savvy the Quest device, they will not be able to use it. But if you give somebody the Vision Pro, the learning curve to be able to do what you want to do, if you have used any smartphone before, be it Android, be it iPhone, you'll figure it out so quickly. And the eye and finger tracking just makes it so much more seamless that the mixed reality experience is much nicer. So for that, I would probably want to give Apple like 2 points in this category as opposed to Quest, just because how much better the user interface, the user experience feels when I'm using the Vision Pro as opposed to the Quest 3 device. Let's just talk about price and value, because Zuckerberg did come out with a response video where he said that he thought that the Quest 3 was going to be more value for money, but he just thinks that the Quest 3 is a better product. I am a Quest 3 user. I love my Quest 3. But to say that Quest 3 is better than the Vision Pro, I'm sorry, Zuck. I have to disagree with you there. There are a lot of things that Quest 3 does very well, and it's comparable to Vision Pro in almost all categories. But to say that the Quest 3 device is better than the Vision Pro device, I don't think that's really the case. He then took a tangent in his video and said it's a closed system versus open system debate, and he prefers the open system over the closed system. I don't think I want to get into that debate in this video, but in my mind, Vision Pro is a better device and the Quest 3 is a better value for money. So if your use case is to experience the top of the class, what is currently available in mixed reality spatial computing, go buy the Vision Pro. But it is $3,500. So is it worth buying it? I don't think so. There aren't too many use cases out there that really make it useful, at least for that price point just yet. However, with the Quest 3, for $500, everything that you can do with this device, I think it's really good for money. And you want to experience this future of computing where the world is headed, Quest 3 is a good device to buy. So if you want to go buy a device just to try out what mixed reality looks like, what spatial computing is like, then go buy the Quest 3. It's pretty good. However, I will preface, it is mainly for gaming and fitness. I don't think I've spent a single day on it actually programming or doing video editing or any computer related work. I've spent some time on these immersive experiences. There are multiple apps that allow you to go live in a virtual world for a while, and it feels good. You get to see and talk to hundreds of people around you who are all also in their avatar. It seems interesting. The games are pretty fun, but there aren't too many use cases for it, at least in my mind. So this was basically just me rambling about what my experience has been with these two devices and comparing them head to head. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. If you want to see more tech content like this, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.